Welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. In today's episode, I want to ask you if you will be one of the 20% or one of the 80%. I want to educate you around what that means, the science of what it means, the 5 key areas that I primarily think that bookkeepers make mistakes around that leads to struggling to find the success they want and need. The 3 big keys to making it work so that you can be one of the 20%. I can't wait to dive into the science and art of this with you. And before we get stuck in, I thought I would share something a little personal with you about how I record these podcasts. So I'm totally into the science of when, which I've talked about a few times. If you haven't heard of it or read about it, it's Daniel Pink's science-based book called The Science of When. It is why elective surgeries are done in the morning. So for me, in terms of podcasts, the way that I work is, number one, I'm always listening to the bookkeeping community, primarily my community that I am engaged with in the Strategic Bookkeepers Way Facebook group. And based on listening to what they tell me they need and they want and they're struggling with, my little brain gets working. And I come up with this thought leadership and ways to educate you, inspire you, challenge you, and when it hits me, I really need to get it out, and that is generally in the morning. So it is a gorgeous morning here on the Gold Coast, and I'm recording this podcast for you, and I am so passionate about this one because I am passionate about bookkeepers making the decision to take a step in the direction that will lead them to having success, because I just see it all too often that inaction costs them everything. So let's dive in. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success. My secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients, and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients. In this podcast, I'm going to name it to tame it. It might sound like I'm pitching the program, but I'm not. And I want to explain that. What I'm pitching is that you learn the statistics, around success and failure, that you accept them to be true, that you podcast interruption. Just to let you know, if you did not join the program when the doors open on August 1, and they opened for 14 days before my team and I rocked up live, it doesn't mean that you can't join in. The program is evergreen. Okay, so we have a way to bring you into the program seamlessly, beautifully, so that you can absolutely start working with me to build your thriving practice, delight your clients, and live your dream on your terms. If you are keen to know how that works, just drop us an email or ask in the private Facebook group. I'm always really grateful for that, because then I can help the many as well as the one. Or simply use the link that will drop in the show notes, or go to the website, pretty easy, and jump into the program, because 2 things. Number one, it comes with a money back guarantee, or let's say 3 things. Number 2, I do not get you to spend extra time working with me. This is about on the job. Yes, I've done other podcasts on that. And number 3, that money back guarantee, it kicks in after a year, but my expectation is to help you get the ROI really early, so that pays for the program. But yes, we're going to spend a year together. So back to the podcast, that you realize that there is a choice around action and inaction, and that you take action. I am pitching you to take action in order to find success. In terms of my program, you're going to read my book or listen to my audio book. You're going to listen to my podcast. You're going to attend my free trainings, and you're going to self-assess when you're ready to join. But here's what I know. Inaction can and will cost you everything. And that's what I dive into here. And so I just wanted to tame it before we got started. That if it sounds like I'm pitching the program, look, I have no problem singing the praises of the program because I know it's extraordinary, but I'm actually pitching you to take action. Oh my goodness, it is so true that inaction can cost you everything. And you know what? As bookkeepers and accountants, right, because I was talking to an accountant friend not so long ago, and I did mention this on another podcast, but him and I were chatting, we're great business buddies, and we were talking about our clients getting a return on investment for our services. So he is absolutely a strategic accountant, as I am a strategic bookkeeper. And so we were kind of chewing the fat on that. And then we talked about something else. And he said, oh, that seems to be expensive, or that costs a lot. And then he caught himself and he put his hand to his mouth, the little gasp. And he said, I just did it, didn't I? I'm such an accountant. Everything for me is a cost, whereas ultimately that's an investment, because what we were talking about, I can't even remember what it was, right? But whatever we were talking about, it was something that was a clear investment. It was like a hello, yes. If you do that, you're going to basically get a really quick return on investment, higher than the fee, which is exactly what my program is. It's what my book is. It's what my podcast is. I know that my podcast is free, right? But it is something intended to give you value in order to do better in business, right? That is my value approach. So what I expect is for you to kick goals, for you to make money, because then I'm giving you value and I'm proving myself to you, okay? My book is very low cost, or some of you will have accessed it complimentary in the ebook version, right? And you know that you can make lots of money and save time by using the book, right? So these things are not a cost, they're an investment, And in fact, our bookkeeping practices are a form of investment. And when we become time rich and we're still pulling 6 figures profit out to put our food on the table and prioritize the things we want, that is the return on the investment. So your business is a bit like a rental property. Okay. So in terms of the program, same thing. Within no time, you make more than the program fee. So I just wanted to cover off that, talk about that for a minute. So absolutely, as I said, inaction costing bookkeepers and accountants everything. And I do believe it is linked to all of us, myself included, finding it very easy to see things as a cost rather than an investment, okay? And actually bookkeeping alone, basic bookkeeping, is seen as a cost, not an investment, okay? So right now, probably a good time to pause the audio and just take in the difference between a cost and an investment, A piece of clothing that I really don't need is a cost, A practical snow jacket because I'm going to the snow is an investment in me not freezing to death. But I definitely want you to consider your own profile and your own bias, because I am the same as you in that way. Because if you can make the mindset change to be able to invest in the things that you need to invest in, right? Time and money, they are the two investments that you make. If as a bookkeeper, you can actually shift your mindset to invest some time and money in something that will help you to find the success that you want and deserve, then that is the action that will help you get what you want, okay? And that is what will, the whole inaction will cost you everything. Avoid that, yeah? Because in terms of the program, just for example, if you say, well, I'm not going to do the program because I don't want to pay the fee for it, yeah? I don't want to spend the time in it, yeah? Then that is inaction. And then in the year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years that you're struggling along trying to find success, it is the inaction that has cost you, right? Whereas let's say with the program, you go, oh, okay, I see that's an investment, right? Jeannie has guaranteed I'm going to get a return on investment, or she'll give me my money back. Actually, when I do my sums, if I invest this specific amount of money and a specific amount of time, then I can see that within a 12-month period, I'm going to get a return on my investment, which is actually massive. But the kicker here is that with bookkeepers and what I've seen in the 80-20 rule, yeah, so the 80-20 rule is a science-based rule, and you must all be observing it in your life and your bookkeeping practices, yeah? In fact, I would challenge you, and this is a bit of an activity, if you look at all of your clients, 20% of them will be giving you most of your revenue. Yeah, it is a science model, the 80-20 rule. And 80% of bookkeepers through inaction, yeah, will never find the success they're looking for. And that's why 20% of us in the industry are winning the work and finding the success. Yeah, we're winning the work off the 80% who are getting it wrong. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it is science-based. You know I love the art and science, okay? When I talk about joining my program, I have no shame in talking about that. It is not a sales pitch, yeah? I recently said to someone, my program is probably not right for you because at that time, this person couldn't find it in themselves to trust me, and that's not going to work. When you step into the program, you step in to a place of trust, yeah? Since then, that wonderful community member has joined, and we are great business buddies, and we're going to do great things together, right? What the key takeaway to this part is that when I talk to you about my program being a return on investment, you know why I do that? I do that because the cost of inaction for bookkeepers breaks my heart. So hopefully I'm being really clear on that. It is for you to self-assess the right time to join the program. But if I didn't educate you on this, if I didn't tell you this, if I didn't tell you what I'd seen, if I didn't tell you the science of the 80-20, yeah, I wouldn't be serving you. Now, this translates into business. The official business statistics globally are that 80% of small businesses go bust in their first 5 years. Bookkeepers are not separate to this. Bookkeepers are in that pool. 80% of bookkeepers through not taking the right action and inaction, through thinking the wrong way and doing the wrong things, thinking the wrong way and taking the wrong action, will shut up shop within 5 years or be in a position where they're scratching their heads wondering why they're not making as much money or time as they probably could in a regular job. Okay, so the 80-20 is a global statistic you can Google, yeah? So within 5 years, 80% of businesses are done and dusted, okay? So my question to you is, are you going to be in the 20% or are you going to be in the 80%? Yeah? And if you're struggling right now, what are you going to do about it? Okay? So I'm going to educate you a bit more. And here we go. So based on those metrics and even my own journey, right? If you've read my book, you'll hear me talk about my fuck up years. The first 5 years were my fuck up years, right? And if you haven't read my book, read my book. Inaction will cost you everything. It's available in audio form. Yeah, less than 6 hours long, an hour a day while you're going for a walk. Okay. So please start with the book. Actually, it's compulsory before you come into the program. And we give you all the audio book files when you come in just in case you haven't done it. So based on that science and statistics that we've just talked about, then it is natural to understand that within 5 years, you should have got there. Yeah. So if you're beyond 5 years in and you haven't achieved what I achieved, which was a 6-figure income and the ability to work a handful of hours a week, yeah, to work whatever hours I wanted, right, then you are absolutely at risk. Yeah. And you need to take action and get some help. 5 years in, you should absolutely have nailed marketing, selling and systems. You should have nailed pricing system, the marketing X factor, which is trust, keeping your promises relentlessly. You should have nailed leadership and management, brand and brand assets, and you should have nailed what rather than why. Okay, and I'll jump into those in a minute. So absolutely marketing, selling and systems are 3 big keys, yeah? But I thought about it and I thought, 5 key areas that bookkeepers fall over is absolutely to rinse and repeat on what I just said, but turn it into a bit of a 5-point plan. Yeah. So 5 key areas you need to nail. You need to write them down. If you need to listen to this podcast again, do it. And you need to write these down and make sure that you nail them. Non-negotiable. Okay. If you're going to be one of the 20% that succeed. So they are pricing and products. Yeah. Do you know what? That is globally recognized as one of the top few things for every service-based business is pricing strategy. Yeah, as being one of the pillars for finding any success. So again, in bookkeeping, we are pro services, yeah, professional services, yeah, and this is not just my stuff. This is not my rule of the game. This is the rules of the game, okay? So in terms of pricing, this is a pricing system and productized services for bookkeepers, because I'm micro niche into helping bookkeepers. This looks like outcome billing and productized services. Write that down. That's what you need to nail. Okay. So outcome billing and productized services. That is number 1. Yeah. You can listen to my podcast on pricing. That is a good one. I'll have probably some more content there on outcome billing. You can ask me more in the private Facebook group, but outcome billing is selling an outcome, not an hour. Okay. Productized services are selling benefits and outcomes, not just features and functions. Okay. And if your head is spinning right now and you're like, this is all new to me, I recommend you jump in the private Facebook group and actually say, Jeannie, I just listened to this podcast and I don't fully understand what you're saying, because I will point you to content that explains more. Okay. So the next thing on the list is the marketing X factor. I would sing about this one all day. It's simple, but 80% of bookkeepers are getting it wrong. So you ready? It is trust. It is keeping your promises. Okay, so the marketing X factor is trust, promises kept. Okay, what does trust look like at work? It looks like I do what I said I'd do in the time frame I said I'd do it. It looks like time and task. Yeah? Are you surprised that 80% of bookkeepers are getting that wrong? And they will actually tell me, oh, it's okay, my clients understand. No, your clients are ringing me to change over. Okay? So that is number 2 on the list. Yeah? And actually, I'll let you know that what contributes to bookkeepers getting that one wrong is more often than not, they take on more work than they can handle. Yeah, which is poor capacity management. Now, everything I give you right now, everything I talk about is nailed for you in the program, okay? I've got all the detail. Please do listen to a podcast called A Few of My Favorite Things, because it explains the impact. But in terms of capacity management, promises kept, outcome billing, productized services, easy breezy in the program. Okay, so they are the first 2 things. The third one, leadership and management. Boy, did I learn this the hard way. I was actually thinking about this yesterday and I was like, holy cow, right? If I had have known this way back when, it's like almost this ethereal stuff that explodes everything. Now, leadership, which I did not understand at the beginning, is as a leader, you set the vision and the mission of the organization. This is outlined in brand, your organization's personality, why you exist. I didn't start that way. I didn't have a vision or mission early on. Yeah. And I've dived into the science and art of it the last 4 years to create a groundbreaking vision and mission, which is done for you in the program, right? Because as a bookkeeper, we can leverage this together. Absolutely, you need to be able to have a clear vision. That is why you exist in the eyes of your customers, and then a mission. That's how you're going to achieve that vision for them. Yeah. And then you need to inspire the team to bring that vision to life by following your mission. Okay. When you have team come on, whether that is a subcontractor, you've engaged a digital marketing agency, whatever, you need to be able to wear the manager hat and wear it well. That is plan, organize, staff, directing, control, zero tolerance, my friends. Okay. I also have free trainings that you can listen to on this. So once again, jump in the Facebook group and just say, hey, Jeannie, no idea what you're talking about. Give me more content. Want to know more. Want more help. Okay. And I'll just point you towards all of that. So that was number 3 on the list, my friends. That was leadership and management. These are 5 things that you need to nail. Okay. This is also a diagnostics tool because you can look at, I'm not doing, not getting that right, etc. And then you can start to diagnose the problems to come up with the solutions, which I'm going to put my hand on my heart and say the easiest, quickest solution is join the program. So 4th on the list is brand and brand assets. I was chatting to a bookkeeper the other day and they kind of were trying to tell me what they needed and what they didn't need in the program. And this bookkeeper's in Canada, and I had a look at their website and I could see that there was a complete lack of brand, which is organization, personality, and the brand assets had been developed without the brand, which leads to them being, how would I put it? It's like they lack the power and therefore they can't actually do what they're intended to do. Okay. So a brand is intended to connect you in a deep way to your market. Yeah. And it does it positioned in your brand assets, and your brand sphere, which is your brand, weaved through your brand assets. And primarily this is like the digital ecosystem, website and socials, is the fundamental way that you are going to create an invisible pipeline in your bookkeeping practice, which is one of the big 5 keys, so that you're not on the seesaw strategy of do the work, win the work, do the work, win the work one at a time. Yeah. You have an invisible pipeline of people that float in a brand sphere that quickly connects them to you being able to find, onboard and retain them without price as a priority, and you've got the competitive advantage. Okay. So that's brand and brand assets as number 4. And I know I'm going through this fast and furious, but like I said, I have got a treasure trove of content that is free, or low cost. So the book has a low fee attached to it. And then I've got a lot of free trainings and all the other podcasts, okay, that go deeper into all of this. All you need to do is ask me. Like I said, I will point you to that content, okay? And do you know what? If you ask the question, you'll be helping so many other bookkeepers because your question is somebody else's question, okay? So the very last of those 5 things, your 5-point plan for really diagnosing why maybe you're not finding the success you're finding is the what rather than why, yeah? And what we need to do is have the why rather than what, or 2 whys to every 1 what, okay? And the bookkeepers who know me well enough now will be like, here she goes. Yeah, Jeannie, we know it's the why, not the what. And I'll always talk about it. And it's very connected because your why is your brand, okay? It's why in the eyes of your client, they want to work with you, yeah? And then the what is the features and functions. So the what is the bookkeeping, just for example. So the what is the what you do, like bookkeeping, financial reporting, tax accounting, all these other things. That is like a car that you jump in to drive to your dream holiday, and the dream holiday is the why, okay? So what I see bookkeepers do all the time, and I did this at the beginning. How do I know all this? Because I've been there, done that, right? So bookkeepers, we are detail orientated, people, and we will always talk about what we do, not why we do it, yeah? And to really have success, you need to be able to connect the why, the benefits and the outcomes. So just as an example, so the bookkeeping is the what. The benefit of having your bookkeeping up to date and accurate is peace of mind, numbers in your pocket, these kind of things, right? The ability to see how your business is performing, which is how you're going to improve your profit and cash. It is optimization of business performance, optimization of profit and cash and more, right? So if you come into the program and you hear me talk and you hear me educate you, or even in the free trainings that I've done that we can give you access, you will hear me go deep into the why language, okay? Now, this takes time for you to bed into habit. How much time? A year. That's why the program is a lap around the sun. So I've given you a 5-point plan. Okay, you can listen to this podcast as often as you want. Yeah. I want to wrap up by reminding you that inaction is what costs bookkeepers and business owners everything. Okay, you need to take the right action and invest the right amount of time and money to get the right return on investment, find the success that you want and need to find, and be one of the 20% who find success. Remember, this is a global statistic, not the 80% that don't find success. If you join the program and you do the work, you work the system, because no system works, you work the system. If you join the program and you work the system with me, then your success is pretty much guaranteed, right? Because you're buying into a system that is proven. So another fact is that while 80% of small businesses go bust in their first 5 years, or near on bust, they have not found success, right? But the statistic is bust. Did you know that systems like franchise systems, right? The strategic bookkeepers are a licensed membership system, a proven system with a money back guarantee. So these systems, their failure rate is in the very small single digits. Like the best of the best is like 1% and less. Yeah. So joining the Strategic Bookkeeper program, you're buying into a system and the global data and metrics around the success of a proven system, which is talked about in the E-Myth, which is like a world best-selling iconic book. Yeah. So the statistics are that the failure rate is 1% rather than 80%. Yeah. The systems which aren't as amazing, their failure rates are still in the single digits, but they can be up to say 6%. So see what I mean by when you buy into like a phenomenal, amazing system, the failure rate is 1%. If you go it alone, the failure rate is 80%. So I absolutely want to help you be one of the 20%. And last thing I want to share with you is something close to my heart. And that is something I know. And that is in the Strategic Bookkeeper. So when you come through the program, right, you're absolutely going to be one of the 20%. And then there's going to be 20% of my program participants who shine the brightest. And that is the 2%. Right? Because the 80-20 rule continues to work within itself. So, for example, if you look at your client base, 20% of your clients are bringing you the most work. Now look at the 20% of that 20%, and 2%, are the highest value to your practice. And so what excites me is that I know that 20% of you, which ends up 2% of you, will just shine so bright. And I'm so excited. And my vision is for you to become, tribe experts, and for you to be in there delivering some of the training as you shine. And I'm so excited. So absolutely you can aim, to be in the top 2% of bookkeepers globally that shine the brightest, I am absolutely proud and humbled to be in the top 1% or less of bookkeepers globally that are shining the brightest. I absolutely pinch myself, but I did the work and I invested the time and money. Yeah. And recently a business buddy and someone I work with actually said to me, Jeannie, nobody gets results like you. And then she said, but Jeannie, nobody shows up like you. Yeah. And showing up is about showing up ready to not just work hard. You absolutely have to work hard. In the 8 weeks before I launched the Strategic Bookkeeper, I worked 7 days a week, day and night. Yeah. So show up ready to work hard, make harder decisions, invest time and money, and then back the hell out of yourself. Yeah. Back yourself. I have backed myself like a crazy woman over the years. And it's not hard. There's times I've folded and I've listened to the voice of shame, or I've listened to some well-meaning person who thought they knew better. And I tell you what, I reflect on the inaction that I took when I didn't back myself, what I didn't do, the different decisions I made based on well-meaning people who thought they knew better than me. And if I had have made those decisions, if I had have taken that action, I would be better off today for it. Go forth and prosper, my friends, and I hope to see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called The Strategic Bookkeeper's Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week and I'll see you in the next episode.